Hey guys, I'm here with a vlog kind of like intro. I'm just here because I'm going to be filming my bookshelf tour. So here are my bookshelves. And I'm sorry in advance for the lighting for a lot of the shelves. The top shelves aren't that bad. Once I got to the bottom of my manga shelf, the lighting was complete garbage. But if you have any questions about what books I missed, please let me know. I'll be definitely sure to let you know in the comments what exactly you couldn't see. But yeah. Sorry for the bad angle of the shelf. I have to hold my camera because of how high it is. On this shelf, this little red quadrant, I can say my favorite books on the shelf are The Devil's Thief by Lisa Maxwell and This Mortal Coil by Emily Suvada. I'm in the middle of reading Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody, and I don't mind it that much. The rest of the books I haven't read this one, and I hated these two books. The second portion of my red shelf, favorites over here are definitely A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I like Cruel Beauty by Rosamund Hodge. Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor is incredible. Shadow Queen. This book is what got me back into reading. I highly recommend it to everybody. I also really like Dreamless, The Elite, Hidden Huntress. Very good books on the shelf. But yeah, that's the red shelf. Now, I do not own a lot of orange books, so here's my tiny little orange section. Books on this shelf I love. I really love Far From the Tree by Robin Benway. Love that book. It's absolutely incredible. I have not read much more on the shelf, but other books I'm looking forward to are The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon and 99% Mine by Sally Thorne, because I love The Hating Game. But yeah, that is this shelf. The next portion of my shelf is finishing of the yellows and going into my brown books. Over here, books I love are Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, The Fate of the Tierline by Erica Johansson, one of the weirdest endings I've read in my entire life. I'm really excited to read Saltcrow Girls by Claire Legrand. Over here, An Enchantment of Ravens. This is one of my favorite books of all time. It's by Margaret Rogerson. Let's put that back here. And I love the Darkest Minds series by Alexandra Bracken. And this is the shelf. This little stack are basically books that didn't really have anywhere to go. This is a brown book, but the brown shelf was full and it's tall, so I just put it on the bottom here. Enchante does not actually go anywhere because there's 3 colors on the spine. Sun is Also a Star has orange, white, and pink, so it bugs me. Foolish Hearts, I guess it could go on the purple shelf, but it's fine. And Wild Beauty, kind of the same situation. But those are those books. I did not like Enchante. The Sun is Also a Star was okay, and I'm really excited to read Wild Beauty. But yeah, that's that shelf. This is the beginning of my blue shelf. I have this beautiful snow globe. I got it around Christmas time, but it's cute. Then I have, it's pretty damaged, but a little origami bird that my husband made me years ago. Alright, and then on the shelf, I have just my blue books. I love the Renegade series. I did not like Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo that much. Besides that, I'm excited to read Last of Her Name. That's pretty much the extent. This is the first blue section. And this is the second blue shelf. On this shelf, my favorites are Cursed So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer, These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner, The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw, A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. As you can tell, this is one of my favorite shelves. I adored The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. I cried like a baby. Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor's great. Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover was great. But yeah, this is the blue shelf. The next little blue quadrant, I love Shatter Me by Tahram Mafi. Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender was beautiful. Adore The Hating Game. Upset of Unrequited was very good. It's by Becky Albertalli. One of my favorite books of all time when I was younger was The Fault in Our Stars. And I love Lucky in Love by Casey West. But yeah, that is this blue shelf. And this next blue shelf here, it's going into bluish green books. Over here, I'm really excited to read The Blood Spell. What Light by Jay Asher is probably one of my favorite Christmas books. Nice and short, nice and easy. I love the Selection series by Kiera Cass. I love Winter Song by S.J. Jones. After by Anna Todd. Fierce Like a Firestorm is one of the best series conclusions for a duology I've ever read. Really, really highly recommend. and The Dark Vault by V.E. Schwab. I really wish we would be getting a third book, but it's okay. And this is the shelf. In this last little quadrant, I have like a random pin that was given to me by a co-worker, and this flower, well, tree, so I put that there. And on top of the books, I have this beautiful wood swan. And these are the books. This Cruel Design is one of my most anticipated sequels, and I have yet to read it. I love The Wicked King by Holly Black. And The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell is very good. And this is this shelf. Moving on down to the first section of the purple shelf, I have a rose water and ivy candle from Bath & Body Works. I think it smells delicious. And I have this, honestly, it's a Christmas snow globe, but it's beautiful, so I keep it on my shelf all year round. And these are the first purple books. I have the Throne of Glass Collector's Edition by Sarah J. Maas because it's one of my favorite Sarah J. Maas books she's ever written. Stain by A.G. Howard is such a good book. It's a Princess and the Pea retelling. I liked Catwoman Soul Stealer by Sarah J. Maas. Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Young was very, very well done. I'm really excited for the sequel. And Skyward by Brandon Sanderson was one of the best sci-fis I've ever read. Yeah, that is that shelf. And here is the next purple shelf. I'm sorry for the lighting getting increasingly darker. We're getting closer to the floor. My lighting is not that great. But on this shelf over here, Maybe One Day by Melissa Cantor is one of the books I read when I was younger and absolutely loved it. Echo North, my favorite book so far of this year. It's by Joanna Ruth Meyer. It's very, very good. And it doesn't state that it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but it feels like that to me. Very, very, very well done. I also really love Strange Grace by Tessa Gratton. Cress is my favorite of the Lunar Chronicles series. And I love Wicked Like a Wildfire by Lena Popovic. And Star-Crossed by Josephine Angelini is by far, in my opinion, one of the most underrated trilogies that's out there. But yeah, this is this shelf. For our next quadrant, we're going into like peachy, into pinks. Kind of. Over here, I really, really like Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover is one of the best books she's ever written. I'm really excited to read The Cold Is in Her Bones. After We Collided by Anna Todd, I loved that. And Their Fractured Light was a very good series finale. But yeah, that is the shelf. The next shelf is my purples going into my green books. Now, over here, I have Autobiography by Christina Lauren. Really excited to read this. Shadow Song by S.J. Jones is one of my most disappointing sequels ever. I'm really upset about it, but I only keep it now because this cover. And I love Winter Song with everything in me, so gotta keep it around. The Night World book here is the first book I read when I was younger. Loved it. It's just nostalgic at this point. Loved The Gilded Wolves. Loved A Court of Wings and Ruin. Stolen Songbirds is another one of my favorite books of all time. And I loved After We Fell. But yeah, that is the shelf here. The next shelf we have here at the very end is just the remainder of my green books. I have a mug with all of my bookmarks in there. And then I have Forest of a Thousand Lanterns, very good villain story, one of my favorites. Splintered by A.G. Howard is a very good Alice in Wonderland retelling, though I never continued with the trilogy, and I don't think I will. Never read the other two books here yet, but I'm planning to get to them as soon as possible. But yep, here's the shelf. The next shelf we have is my beginning of my white books. Now I have a little cat box here my mom got for me when she was on vacation, so let's just move that out of the way. Books to note on the shelf is I liked Piper Perish by Kayla Kagan. A lot of people don't like that book. Poppy War was incredible. Not a huge fan of the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy by V.E. Schwab, which is a little bit of an unpopular opinion, though I do have the third book here signed. And I liked Witchwood by Tahereh Mafi, and Lady Midnight was a very good start to the series. But yeah, that is this shelf. The next shelf here is the beginning of my white shelf. On this shelf, I love The Cruel Prince, and Ember the Ashes was a very good series starter. I'm looking forward to getting to the sequel. Very Large Expansive Sea was incredible. Loved Warcross. Throne of Glass series is incredible. In front of that, I have like this Throne of Glass pin that I received in the mail. And I have, this was actually just came with it, but I folded it, so it looks like Selena standing there. Genius, right? And then I have The Seafarer's Kiss, which I actually really liked, but I didn't like its sequel that much, by Julia Embers. Christina Lauren books, Colleen Hoover books. Love this trilogy. It's the Firebird trilogy by Claudia Gray. Very underrated, but I love it so much. And this is the next white card quadrant. The light is not very good at all. But books I loved on the shelf. I loved One Day in December by Josie Silva? Yeah. Very, very good. Beautiful romance. I loved it so much. I also liked the To All the Boys I Loved Before trilogy by Jenny Han. November 9 by Colleen Hoover was problematic, but I still liked it. I'm really excited to read I've Lost My Way by Gail Forman. I loved Vicious and Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. City of Ghosts was absolutely incredible. And that is... We're getting into the gray books here. Books to know. I have the Hunger Games trilogy here by Suzanne Collins. Love the Infernal Devices trilogy by Cassandra Clare. Not a huge fan of the Mortal Instruments series, though I do love the first book, which is kind of an unpopular opinion. Over here I'm excited to read Across the Universe. Loved Heart of Thorns. Excited to read Circle of Shadows and Warrior of the Wild. But yeah. And we're getting into the black books here. I just have a mug that says I like cats more than I like people, filled with some pens and stuff that my sister gave me. But I also have my Twilight books, Never Fade by Alexander Bracken, and Sea Witch, which I was not a big fan of. But yeah. This next shelf here, I'm very, very close to the floor, so the lighting is going to be complete garbage. I truly apologize for that. I have a little XOXO pillow. I don't know where I got it. It's whatever. Books to note on the shelf. I love A Court of Frost and Starlight. Girls Made of Snow and Glass by Melissa Barshadaust. Very good book. I've read Caraval, looking forward to reading Legendary, and Six of Crows Collector's Edition is absolutely beautiful. But yeah, that is this little section here. This last shelf is very, very hard to film, but I have these books on the shelf. Books to note are the Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo. I loved Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I liked The Queen's Rising by Rebecca Ross, The Lunar Chronicles, and the Three Dark Crowns series by Kendar Blake. But yeah, that is the shelf. This is the next little quadrant of books. Very hard to film again. I have The Savage Song duology by Victoria Schwab. I have my 50 Shades books, Judge Me All You Want, love them. The Evermore duology by Sarah Holland, very good. Price Guide to the Occult by Leslie Walton, one of my favorite books of all time. And Furyborn and Lifelike, which I also really loved. But yeah, that is that section. This is my last shelf down here. I have Verity by Colleen Hoover, which is one of the weirdest books I've ever read. The Summoning Trilogy by Kelly Armstrong, childhood favorite. Daughter Smoke and Bone series, besides the third book, because it's on the blue shelf. Loved that. Loved Roseblood by A.G. Howard. But yeah. The last little section I have here is actually my House of Night books by PC Cass and Kristen Cass. And a cat. That is it. My next shelf here is my manga shelf. So the first manga shelf. For here I have all of my Sailor Moon books. I have the 2 Eternal editions that are released so far. Wolf Children, which is one of my favorite mangas of all time. Orange, which I really, really love. And what is it called? The Complete Cheese Sweet Home series. Very cute, very adorable. This is my second manga shelf. Over here I have the Complete Flowers of Evil series, the Ruby series, the new game 2 out of 4. I've got the Your Name series, Dream and Sun, Flying Witch, which is my favorite manga. I've read them so many times. Generation Witch, Ghost Diary, Beast of Abigail, and All You Need Is Kill. So those books. Very hard to get to the slash shelf, but I have a couple manga here. Death Note, Fruit Basket, Spinning. Got my basket of my book sleeves. My grandma actually made me all of these book sleeves, so I don't have to pay anything for those. And on this side I have the Wires and Nerve graphic novels, which they were okay. Saga Volume 1, Tokyo Ghoul, Full Metal Alchemist, and Blue. Yeah, I got my overview of my bookshelves here. Thanks again for watching my bookshelf tour. I hope you like them. And I hope you have yourself a great day. Bye!